Trafalgar Square, summer 1995. The Islamic fundamentalist Omar Bakri-Muhammed is calling for a holy war in the UK.
Until we see the flag of no God but Allah and Muhammad, the Messenger of Allah, we see it over Downing Street.
When the war is won, homosexuals and adulterers and fornicators will be stoned to death. One fears also for the Jews, my people. Omar Bakri has written that it is every Muslim's duty to fight and to kill the Jews in Israel. But this speech comes as something of a shock. Nobody has ever called for a holy war in Britain before.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
March 1996. I've discovered that Omar lives 2 miles away from me in North London. He was born into a palace in Syria, one of 28 children. They had chauffeurs and servants. But he was exiled from Saudi Arabia in 1985 and landed here, in Tottenham. He lives here on income support while he applies for a British passport.
Morning. Morning. I'm sorry, go on.
I ask him if he'll let us follow him around for a year while he plans to overthrow the West. Unexpectedly, he agrees.
Come on.
We're preparing leaflets, part of our project to introduce Islam to society and to highlight the corruption of the Western civilization and the corruption of man-made law, such as homosexuality, lesbianism, adultery, fornication, bestiality, in order to show them that this has been condemned to death. Be careful of homosexuality. Be careful. Beware and be aware.
Even when calling for the death of sodomites, Omar seems quite cheerful. He is unlike my mental picture of a Muslim extremist.
Take one. Oh, this is different. This one homosexuality. This one
But he is an outlaw, even amongst his fellow Muslims who regard him as a liability, particularly since he reportedly called for John Major's assassination.
My one's different. I'll see you see.
How's it going, Omar?
It's going very good. The message is across. There is some deadly disease here and there. Be careful, beware, be aware. There is homosexual everywhere. You want to guide people to the truth, you need to come out. Take one, please. Be careful from homosexuality. It's not good for your tummy. It's good this way.
Omar has had a lot of bad press over the years, and he's put it all on a wall called the Media Onslaught Against Islam Wall.
It so clearly shows you itself, the prejudice itself, and how the media is so biased against Islam and Muslims. This one here, to Observer, it was really bad. Because itself here, he put Hamas, we use London as a base for terrorism and source for fun. Nobody will give this quotation and that challenge. And you see, my pictures, he take for me over 35 pictures. He was waiting himself only for one to look ugly. He looked at me. He said, "We need pictures when you are talking." I talk. He said, "Okay, can you say cheese, tease, something like this?" Say what for itself, for example, said itself ball, something. I said, "What, you want me to do like this for you?" He said, yeah, please. And he tried to take picture when I was joking with him. But they make for us very nice publicity. When Muslims hear that, Omar is against Israel, very good. God bless him. When they see Omar, he don't accept homosexuality. Very good. God bless him. Let our children study with his group.
I'm curious to know how Omar Bakri intends to destroy democracy and establish himself as Ayatollah. This is a jihad orchestrated in cash and carries and business parks, the landscape of the enemy. Today, Omar needs to buy some collection boxes for Hamas, the terrorist group responsible for bus bombings in Israel.
This one is very good. That's what I want. for collection money. Very nice.
But it's Coca-Cola. I thought you were against Western capitalism and...
I'm not against the baggage, really. I'm against the thought and the idea.
It seems strange to me that you're going to organise collections for Hamas and so on in a big Coca-Cola bottle.
Very good. Actually, we collect money not only for Hamas, for all the Muslims worldwide.
But still, Coca-Cola is such a symbol of
the Western. Yeah. You see, women everywhere in this country. That is the corruption of the Western society. You want to buy a frame. What does to do with the woman in the frame? So we're suffering here, we as a Muslims, that there is struggle between two civilizations. So we take the picture of this woman and we put a picture which itself have decent message and graphic of Quran, Islamic designer.
The nearby office world is a centre of political and religious activity in North London, mainly because of their special price promise. Often Omar will bump into a Hasidic Jew or a member of the Socialist Workers' Party when he's getting his pamphlets photocopied at Office World.
The future is for Islam, jihad the cure for Israel, read Al-Quran, the last testimony, the sovereignty is only for God. Islam, the future for Britain. You're going to become Muslim one day, believe me.
Is this where you photocopy all your material?
Office World is very cheap, price, 2,000 to 35. And if you can match it by any other place, he give you discount.
Capitalism. That's capitalism.
Of course. So we benefit itself from capitalism to itself convey the message.
That's a natural rig.
That's a natural rig. Okay, can you do it A3?
A3 now.
Very nice. You can smell revolution.
What does revolution smell like?
Victory. It smells itself, supremacy, for the ideology you believe. You smell ink now.
Yeah, ink. Omar wanted to take us to the Wood Green shopping centre to show us how Britain will change under Islamic law. He says it's important for the public to be prepared so as to avoid unnecessary suffering when the time comes.
This type of shop will never be having license to trade because it's completely prohibited. All type of music, whether involving sexual or involving very public ideas, or the stupid thing, spicy girls, or whatever they call them.
What would you do with the Spice Girls?
They must be arrested immediately. They will never be existing in the Islamic State Spice Girls. There will be two different lifts. One for male, one for female, completely separately. Because any privacy between a single man and single woman is completely prohibited in Islam. It's called khalwa. Therefore, it must be provided a good service for the people. Obviously, the law and order will forbid any nightclub, any place of gambling, any place that is involving, something Islam forbid.
So that pub, for instance?
Oh, definitely will be closed down. We will offer to him, make it library is better. There will be itself a place of entertainment, but will be, no free mixing.
But what if William Hill said, no, I'm not going to close down my bookmakers?
He will be himself arrested for rejecting the law. And after that, they will close his shop by force.
What about the flags, Omar, the Union Jacks?
There will be no flags like this, available anymore, because this flag represents a particular law and order, which is itself, the British law.
This is Torquay. The Conservative MP Rupert Allison has invited us to a garden party. Rupert is leading a lobby in the Commons to get Omar deported. Rupert and Omar are not as different as they think. Both are anti-homosexual, both want to see the return of the death penalty. This is the week that Rupert has been exposed by the Daily Mirror as an adulterer.
It's unpleasant having these things.
And I looked at her, Rupert, you made me a promise.
Adultery is a crime which, under Islamic law, would be punishable by stoning to death.
Never mind.
Some of you may be wondering why there are a couple of video cameras here this afternoon, and the reason is that I've been campaigning against an Islamic fundamentalist, an extremist who advocates terrorism, believes in putting bombs in buses and killing women and children in Israel. This is somebody who's applied for a British passport. And I've said that as far as I'm concerned, he can apply for any passport he likes in anywhere else in the world, but he won't get one in Britain.
I believe in capital punishment, I believe in flogging, I believe in bringing the young people up to respect someone in higher authority.
I'm an advocate of capital punishment, but under Islamic law, the idea of somebody being subject to what amounts to me as a kangaroo court and then being herded into a corner and being stoned to death is not just disagreeable, it's wholly uncivilized. This character is somebody who's come to the United Kingdom, sought political asylum, and is now busy trying to overthrow our way of life.
Well, it's a free country, but I don't think you'll get very far, do you? I mean...
It won't get very far in Torquay.
Torquay in particular, I think, wouldn't stand for this sort of... yes, agreed. Everyone is in a free country, and choice is still a very good thing. But they are so extreme that, you know, there is no way in Torquay or the West Country even that people would stand for it.
My message to him, peddle your extremism elsewhere.
It's mid-April. The Israeli army has bombed a UN safe haven in the Lebanon. Omar has organised a protest outside the Israeli embassy on Kensington High Street, the magnitude of which will reverberate around the world, he says.
Show your support to the women and children of Lebanon. How are you today?
What's your point of view, sir? Is it right to butcher women and children?
I agree with you.
You agree with me? Thank you very much, sir. So the British public's agreeing with the Muslims for a change.
Unfortunately, when Omar phoned directory inquiries, they gave him the wrong address for the embassy. A deliberate conspiracy, he believes. So most of his followers have gone to Knightsbridge instead.
Coming in 3, 2, 1. Any possibility of some sounds at all?
Israel murderers! Israel murderers!
Well, Chris, it's not a huge turnout here in Kensington, around 30 or so people, but the organisers are stressing that this is a token or symbolic picket of the Israeli embassy. With me, I have the organiser of the demonstration, Omar Bakri-Muhammed. You don't really seriously expect the officials inside the building to pay attention to you, do you?
Actually, we are not requesting that. We're coming here ourselves to break the silence of the Muslim community. The people who have been murdered in the area, they are Muslims, and the only solution must be an Islamic solution. I hope people in the West, they will wake up and they will, stood in the side of the Muslims, before it's too late.
This is Robert Allen outside the Israeli embassy.
Omar has higher plans, though. He has plans to organise the biggest rally that Britain has ever seen. A rally that will place London on the map as a world centre for Islamic militancy.
We're going now to London Arena to discuss the contract for the event of the conference and to bargain with them a little bit about the cost. He's not got to know me. Do you think I've become smart enough? Huh? You are smart enough, obviously.
The rally is scheduled between a Tom Jones concert and a show called The Wonderful World of Horses. Omar has never heard of Tom Jones, and he is shocked to discover that women throw their underwear on stage.
Oh my God. Is that the sign of the hour? The sign of the hour.
Is it?
Of course, people start to take off their own knickers and their own underwear. That is sign of the hours.
Is it one of those?
It's very good ideas if we put the sisters, the women, on one side.
Yeah, we can do that easily, can't we?
With the optimism of the devout, Omar has booked the 14,000 capacity London Arena. One wonders about the success of this venture. The last time Omar organised a grand statement was last year's jihad call at Trafalgar Square. To celebrate, he released 5,000 balloons to carry the call to war high into the London sky. But the messages were too heavy, and the balloons stayed on the ground. Sunday night, the Regent's Park Mosque. Omar is forging ahead with the rally preparations.
Brothers, what we've done is we've split the London Underground, okay? We could go along the line doing them.
His group, Al-Muhajirun, have been banned from meeting politically in most mosques. So this is a secret meeting after everyone has gone home.
Omar, did you bring the stickers with you?
Yeah.
You have enough?
Yeah,
We got enough.
Omar's followers have even sold their jewellery to help pay for the event. Tonight they intend to decorate the streets with stickers advertising the rally.
It's going all right, we've started now. That's it, once you start, you're on a roll.
In the next few days, 28 local councils will complain to the London Arena about the stickers.
Should we go? Let's head towards
What the hell is that? Who gives a think that's toss what that is? Islam itself, it dictates the way to channel your instincts, all of your instincts. Your sexual instinct, your instinct of survival, your instinct of worship. It's all channeled, all there in black and white. But these days, there's something called freedom of speech and freedom of belief, and freedom of this and freedom of that. And this freedom itself is like a whirlwind. It's just bringing society right down. And one day just go bang. Think about we're on Oxford Street.
Well, I can't exactly do a left here.
Doesn't work too well, does it?
Omar has told his followers to reject man-made laws. They don't need driving licenses, Omar says, because they have divine license.
Hello?
I'm still surprised at how open Omar and his group are to us, but he's intimated that he wants something in return for all of this. We're his friends now, and friends help out, Omar says.
Am I going the right way?
Yes. Or turn right if you like. That is good as well. From here, right. Straight on.
It is a month later. Much has occurred.
Right.
The London Arena rally has hit the world headlines. Egypt has threatened to sever relations with the UK if the rally goes ahead.
Turn right here, right.
I'm trying to get you there as fast as possible.
Thank you very much. Maybe you become Muslim, you know, and you get all the reward after that.
Somewhere along the line, my role has shifted from journalist to chauffeur.
Yeah, you can stop here, please.
It starts small, but pretty soon entire days are spent driving Omar around to the newsagents and back again to office world.
Assalamu alaikum.
I fear I am letting down my people, the Jews. They are trying to get the rally banned. I am unintentionally helping Omar organise it.
Very sensitive moment.
Good evening, you're listening to Jewish London with me, Wendy Robbins. On tonight's show, a virtual who's who of fundamentalist terrorism has pledged support for next week's Islamic rally in London. Speakers include Sheikh Osama bin Laden, the multimillionaire terrorist financier linked to the murder of more than 30 American servicemen in the Middle East. The founding member of Hamas has sent a written message from his cell in Israel, and Omar Abdel Rahman, the blind sheikh who was convicted of planning the bombing of the World Trade Center, has sent a videoed message. Other video lectures have been sponsored by Hezbollah. What a lineup. The organiser of the rally, Sheikh Omar Bakri-Muhammed, says he wants to see the Islamic flag flying over Downing Street. Mike Wine from the Board of Deputies is with us. Mike, what do you think of Sheikh Mohammed's views?
I don't think I have to actually say very much. He says it all. The rest of the world has to live under Islamic law, whether it wants to or not. If we don't want to, then there's a war looming. He's essentially a terrorist who uses Islam as a cloak for his terrorist views and activities.
You didn't want to be in the same room as him, did you?
You don't talk to a fascist. The guy essentially is that. I mean, he wants to kill Jews. Why am I going to sit and give him a platform? So no, I won't talk to him, just I wouldn't talk to someone from the National Front or from Combat 18 or the Nazis. I think Britain still does not quite realise what Islamist terrorism really means.
August, and Omar has taken a break from the rally preparations to attend a top-secret weekend social get-together with all of Britain's Islamic fundamentalist leaders at a country house in Birmingham. There has been infighting, and this weekend is intended to heal rifts. Some of the people here think that you're too extreme.
Actually, extreme only in the views of the Western country, the Western people. In their own mind, I am Mujahid. I am the one who is a very brave fighter on the front line openly because they believe in what I'm doing. They are, remember, all the Muslims, so they don't think about fundamentalist, extremist. All these issues for them mean nothing. For you, terrorism is somebody himself blow, if you like, some bomb here and there in Israel. For them, the one who do that, they respect him as a great mujahid, a great, warrior or fighter.
Omar is in some trouble for inviting us, and I later overhear another leader say to him, "I have bought a spare suitcase. Dr. Al-Masari has bought a spare pair of shoes. You have brought along a spare film crew."
That is just Channel 4 do program about my life. Nothing to do with the meeting here. This is a long-term project for about maybe 10, 15 years. They said not to communicate with the media whatsoever. So I don't consider you media. I consider myself, one of the people who are so close to me want to make film about my life. To send it to my mother. That's the only thing I can tell them. They do film for me, to professional film, to send it to my family.
Will you put in a good word for us to stay?
I think stay. I would like you to stay, really, itself. But I will speak with them now. I will arrange it. Just wait in the car for a while, and I will come back to you. See you then.
The most important and media-shy Islamic fundamentalist leaders in the country are here, plus representatives from Hamas and Hezbollah and the Algerian Liberation Party. Nobody was supposed to know that the weekend was taking place at all. 2 hours later, Omar returns.
I did my best. There is no way. You see, they don't want any people from the media here. I would like you to have food with us, but you see, I can't. I think if you come in the morning, maybe that will be more friendly. I hope it's if you can have, some ice cream, but I can bring you ice cream if you wish. Do you want ice cream?
Yes, please.
Okay, I can bring you ice cream, no problem. Ice cream I can bring. I think that is the best we can do as a guest. To offer to you ice cream. You see, now we are cooling down the temperature and and the whole itself tension. Okay?
Thank you.
See you.
It is the next morning, and we've returned for another try. I'm keen to see Omar at play, which is something he rarely does. He says he gets dizzy when he's not furthering the cause of Islam.
Where is everybody and where is the fishing?
Many of the rival leaders are angry about the extreme negative reactions the rally is generating, especially from the Jewish Board of Deputies.
You got the fish? I got it. Oh, mashallah. Let me throw it at the water. Enough to try, yeah? So, can you take it for me? How you do now? You catch it?
You hold it and then you take the hook out.
No, I don't hold it. I can hold it.
First we hold it. Can you hold it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Just hold it.
Can't believe it, man, he himself to do.
So got a bit of fight in it, yeah?
It's one of those Jewish Board of Deputy,
The green thing, open that green thing. It's a discarded. No, not tin opener. Just hold it.
Which one? You hold it like this?
Yeah. Don't let it go, it's strong, it's a strong fish. Pick it up, just pick it up. Tight. No, not like that.
You gotta hold it. Not like this?
You gotta hold it tight. It won't bite you. It won't bite you. How are you gonna fight jihad, Omar Bakri?
I can't fight jihad if it's gonna fish. Okay, you can take it now. What is, throw it back?
No, don't throw it back. Really put it in there. We're gonna have it for dinner, man.
We'll fight itself ready for half an hour.
Have it for dinner.
Okay, stay here.
Throw it back.
Okay, I'm going to go now.
I don't think Omar had a good time fishing. I think he felt mocked by his rivals.
We fish with mobile.
Especially when they asked him how he expected to fight the jihad if he couldn't hold a fish. Omar's second-in-command, Anjem, and his lawyer have been called to urgent talks with the London Arena, who are worried that they're in the midst of an international incident. There have been bomb threats, and the arena want more money for security and car parking facilities. They are angry about the fly posting too. The lawyer's defence is that the fly posting was done without their knowledge, when in fact Anjem was in charge of it.
Just because some people beyond our control went away and stuck stickers doesn't mean to say, one, that the organisation's liable, or secondly, that the London Arena would have to pay anything.
Come to see someone. Turn the video camera, please. No, turn the video. No, I'm sorry. You're coming in to see someone? Yeah. You can't film anything inside the building.
Right. Do you know why?
Oh, it's private property. We don't need a reason. You can wait outside by all means.
Okay. An hour later, Anjem, the deputy, returns and telephones Omar with the results of the meeting.
What they've agreed with us is that we can talk to the police, and if we can convince them that it's not a security risk, etc., then they're prepared to take that on board in the discussion of any extra costs. Yeah, the success and failure of the conference is in the hands of Allah, ultimately. Anyway, so it's still on. Just.
There are more Muslims in southeast England than anywhere else in Europe. The vast majority of them are horrified by Al-Muhajirun. They believe the group only generates prejudice against all Muslims in the West. Sheikh Omar Bakri-Muhammed is the leader of Al-Muhajirun. He's a Syrian living in Britain on state benefits. What he wants is a holy war that is unashamedly violent. Egypt is a country implicitly threatened by Bakri-Muhammed. President Mubarak has already asked for the London rally to be banned. But here, the Foreign Secretary, Malcolm Rifkin, has said the government will not and cannot intervene unless laws are broken.
Sorry?
Gesundheit.
Did you have your breakfast? Then left. You are lucky.
Have you not?
Oh, from yesterday, maybe I got some crisps. I have no time to eat at home.
What, you only ate crisps yesterday all
Yeah.
day? My role as Omar's chauffeur continues. I don't think he realises I'm Jewish yet.
That will give me some energy.
He's called us Jews the lowliest disbelievers on earth. Today he told me if I turned up late he'd give me 60 lashes, although I think he was joking. Things are getting out of control. Omar has been approached for interviews by 634 journalists. Instead of praying 5 times a day, he's up to about 30 for the benefit of the cameras.
Do you want me to give them lessons? So you can have short to give them lessons?
You've done this more than once, haven't you?
I'm fine the teacher, really. That school itself really
It's covering yourself. The fundamental question, where I come from.
Today, Omar has been told in an anonymous phone call that if he allows the rally to go ahead, he will be killed.
Enough is enough. You fundamentalists, you are going to be pay the price. You are dead meat. Something like this is very silly message. But the one which come in the telephone, it was by Arabic accent, and it was threatening directly. That is, if the conference go ahead, you know, we are going to blow it. You traitors, something like this. We believe nothing will happen to us except what God himself wrote as a fate and destiny. That's the difference between people who got no cause except life is short, enjoy yourself. For me, life is short, invest it to please God for the hereafter.
Organising an Islamic conference for next month, which will include calls for a holy war.
It is 2 days before the conference.
The Egyptian Foreign Minister, as well as Jewish groups here, have already complained. But Foreign Secretary Malcolm Rifkin has said that as long as no one breaks the law, the conference can go ahead. Omar Bakri-Muhammed, a Syrian exiled in London, is the conference organiser.
I think London become the centre of all oppositions of the Islamic movement.
Tonight, Omar has been invited to be the star panellist on a Carlton TV discussion programme called Thursday Night Live, an ordered and intellectual debate, they told Omar, about the issues surrounding the conference.
London now, I can see.
I'm the gentleman in the striped shirt. I don't want to get into depth about Islamic or Islam and all that, but I believe, you know, if anyone comes into this country, like this geezer, he's on benefit, and I think if you're going to be in this country, you should be British, not Islamic at all, but you should be one of us. How much benefit are you getting every week?
Of course, you know, I get what I deserve. You know, I take 150 every week.
How much benefit are you claiming from the government?
150 every week.
If you want to change something, you want to get a job.
Yeah, and you don't have a job, and many people like you for...
Stand in DSSS.
I used to have a job, and many people like you work for me, for your information.
Go down the corner shop and get one then.
We have our laws and all the rest of it, so shouldn't it be a simple thing, as in Rome, do as the Romans do?
You preach nothing but hatred, and you should get out.
Islam is a way of life. Yours is a way of death. You're bloody terrorists.
Over here, this gentleman with the glasses.
The morning after the television show, we arrive at Omar's offices to hear some startling news.
It's been cancelled, brother.
Omar, tell me what happened this morning.
London on your phone, and they said, we would like to charge you maximum the cost of the maximum security.
£18,000.
We said we cannot afford, you know, this amount of money, and they said there is no facility of parking facility. They said the council reject because you are fundamentalists. What are you talking about? How are people going to park their own cars?
It's true, brother. It has
been in a better mood than I thought you'd be.
I'm really very happy. It is a big victory for the Muslim community and the Muslims worldwide. Victory because we promised to shake the world, and you know, and we shake it. We promise that this rally for revival is going to be a historical rally, and it become historical rally. I don't think Lady Diana or any minister ever have over 600, you know, 34, if you like, media person who themselves really was available, and they bought themselves the press pass.
Did you feel let down?
In a sense, you see, majority of our work's been done anyway. Yeah, all we wanted to get through was a message, and in a sense, our message has gone throughout the whole world. And if we think about it, it was just supposed to be a conference of, you know, Islamic education, and it just blew up the whole world.
Hello? Just a minute, please, just a minute.
In a quiet moment, a few of Omar's followers admit relief about the cancellation. It could never have lived up to expectations. None of the videoed messages from the terrorists from abroad had arrived, and less than 3,000 tickets had been sold.
We had the President of Egypt address us, so, you know, it's had a big impact internationally, so we achieved what we set out to do.
The way that the government has been putting pressure
on everyone. It was bound to come to this anyway,
So as well,
and we were prepared for this.
Yeah, I mean, they can't stop us. You stop the conference, it doesn't stop...
Just because we haven't got a venue, it doesn't mean we won't speak out, and it doesn't mean the message won't pass.
المهاجرون.
Okay,
مهاجرون. المهاجرون.
Just say what it means again? Yeah, no, I got it.
The voice, the eyes, the ears of the Muslims worldwide. It is a small word that have a lot of meaning.
Yeah,
Hello.
no, because, we've got someone in our library.
That's one more number gone. I mean, it's such a rush.
I don't know. But what I wanted to ask you, and this is, you know, obviously this is totally off camera, but, you know, is there going to be, I don't know, a march in the street? What was it? You mentioned Hyde Park.
I don't know what's happening on Sunday. Are we going to have an alternate arrangement?
No way to put them anyway. It's going to be meeting in the Hyde Park 10:30 Sunday. Yes, but we need permission from the police.
We are actually really
I wonder whether this is what Omar had planned all along. Now they get all the publicity and a complete refund from the arena. Omar's always said that if he wasn't a Muslim, he'd be working for Saatchi and Saatchi.
Now we need to change this issue. Remember 8th of September. Must be, don't remember 8th of September. But I think it's going to be a historical day. That is the whole world, you know, shake just when the Muslims said Allahu Akbar. Excuse me.
Oh, taste and see, young man.
Sunday morning, Speaker's Corner.
Taste is free. You don't have to follow the feet of the Pope.
We arrive early. There is no sign of Omar.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Are you here because of Omar Bakri? Why are you here?
I'll answer your question if you answer mine. Are you born again?
Look at brother. Our father is so wonderful. He never fails to give me anything I need.
At the start of the week, they were saying, Hosanna to the Son of David. At the end of the week, they were saying, crucify him. Who needs the praise of men? It stinks. You can keep it. Take your television cameras away. I'm not interested in your fame.
I will sing praises to God for the things He's done for us. I will sing praises to God.
Soon, Omar arrives. He doesn't say hello. Now he is at the centre of world events. I think he no longer needs us.
For the whole world, we believe on it. We work for it.
Excuse me, your flag's right in your way.
Outraged, the gay rights group have organised a counter-demonstration.
Raise up your pink flags high.
A queer fatwa sentencing Omar to 1,000 years of relentless sodomitical torment.
That lesbians and gay men are out and filled with pride.
They were doing queer jihad last year. I think the common denominator is queer, isn't it? In all these.
Omar, look, is hereby sentenced to 1,000 years relentless sodomitical torment. That's a decline. This nation.
Anti-gay! Anti-gay! Anti-women!
One of Omar's other followers spots us filming outrage, and he forbids us from doing it again.
No, you can't put it in Omar's life, no way. You can't. No. No attachment of them people with anything with Islam.
So you won't let us put that in the film?
Oh no, you put that, you'll get more death threats than Israel gets today, which is a couple of billion, really.
What, if we just put outrage in the film about Omar?
You shouldn't put that.
Remember
God
that.
created us all, man.
Yes,
God
he
created
said,
us
but
all.
you know, he said Adam and Eve. That is the starting of the world. If it's Adam and Steve, I agree with you.
Kaleem, is that you, Kaleem?
The fear of assassination is in the air today.
Yeah, okay, just move over to where Omar is.
Although Omar keeps telling me that he's ready to die on the battlefield, security is tight. Omar's son, Mohammed, saw Malcolm X on the video recently, and he's worried that his father's story has some disturbing parallels.
I know, because, like, you know, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, the way they helped. That's what I'm worried about, but...
Is that what your dad's becoming?
It seems to, because I was watching a video the other day about that, and it had so much of a comparison between him. Too much publicity, and you see what happens to him in the end. Don't exactly like it.
Are you worried about that?
Even Mum says she's worried, but it's all in the hands of God. It's not us. It's all in the hands of Allah.
I'm leaving, okay? Who's going to his house?
At midday, Omar abruptly leaves. He won't tell me where he's going. He just says, to a hotel. He's adamant that we cannot follow him.
All the sisters and brothers from Muhajirun just leave the premises and go home.
60 years,
Yeah, I'm with Omar. We are outside the barriers now.
I later discover that Omar has gone to private meetings with the speakers who've arrived in secret to attend the rally, and he no longer needs a chauffeur.
If you embrace Islam and you help us in working for our objective, then you can follow us everywhere. All, John. Hi, mate. Cheers. Hey, we've got to go somewhere. We can't really...
Come and get in.
No. Not today. Another time, yeah? We have a lot of things we need to sort out. Come on.
Come on over. Don't forget about us. We were here.
Oh, we are always with you. You are with me before, with me after. I'm always with you.
Come with you now.
There's no place in the car.
Where are you going, Omar?
We're going now to have the real meeting of Rally for Revival. Keep them busy in the Hyde Park shouting. Leave them there, shout, and we are doing our job.
Can you tell us the address?
Actually, it's only for the Islamic movement and for the Muslim community. But I'll see you again, definitely. Let us go.
November, and everything has changed. Today, Omar learns that his benefits have been stopped. He rushes to the dole office to plead for emergency income support. To make matters worse, he's been evicted from his offices. His landlord was sick of all the film crews.
So you've lost everything?
I lost every material thing in this life, but I did not lose my belief or my struggle or the cause I believe on, which is that the most important thing. Maybe I do not have money, but I have dignity. So that is the most important thing.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on board.
Rupert Allison is still keeping up his campaign against Omar, this time on a pleasure boat on the River Dart.
I think that it is very likely within 5 to 10 years that we will be the subject of nuclear blackmail by most likely an Islamic fundamentalist. It has been pointed out that you don't need an ICBM missile now to deliver a nuclear weapon, you just need an Islamic fundamentalist with a transit van.
It turns out that it was Rupert who was instrumental in getting Omar's dole stopped.
I think that if I have made the authorities alert to any abuse of the benefit system, that is to the advantage of my constituents and to taxpayers generally. It is now an offence in this country, hitherto it was not, to plan terrorist activities overseas. And if he were contemplating any kind of activity in the UK, that would certainly amount to a breach of the criminal law. And I have no doubt that the law would take its course.
It is a year now since Omar bought his novelty Coca-Cola Hamas collection boxes from the cash and carry. Finally, they are full and in the hands of Anjem, Omar's deputy.
much is in there?
Don't know, I should think about anything up to about £1,000 maybe. There's quite a few coins, 5s, 50s.
Yeah. Omar bought that a year ago.
A year ago. We've got another 3 bottles actually.
All full?
They're not, well, this one's not quite full. The other's not quite full either.
Where's it going now?
It's going to go to a safe place where we can store it. Eventually it needs to be counted and obviously banked and then sent so that it reaches the destination where it's supposed to go.
What is the destination?
Well, the destination will be to help our brothers who are struggling, wherever they may be, whether it's Hamas or Hezbollah in the Middle East, or whether it's people who are working in the ideological struggle in Britain.
All this year, Omar has talked about his intellectual jihad against the UK. But now his plans have changed, he says.
There is a time where a military struggle must taking place. Jihad is to expand the authority of the Islamic State, not to force people to become Muslim, rather to force the law and order on other nations. That's called conquering.
Here in the UK?
Oh, definitely. It's in UK here. It's one day it's going to be governed by Islam. Okay, I will take one.
Maybe this is Omar's way of bouncing back from his eviction and his dole crises. He says that the time is coming for the Muslims to take up arms and to fight back.
Remember this one? Islam, the future for Britain. Islam will dominate the whole world. Remember our campaign is continue. The struggle will continue until Islam will dominate the whole world. The Muslims in Europe, they should not be naive. They should not be defensive. They must be themselves come out openly and engage in the struggle to change society and be ready for any potential attack on them physically to defend themselves militarily. So it is become a global struggle, which is the whole Muslim Ummah must involve on it. And I believe, as I always say, there is struggle between two civilizations, the civilization of man against civilization of God. Okay.
It is the first day of Ramadan and our last day with Omar. He is off to his secret jihad training camp in a scout hut in Crawley. Crawley seems an incongruous location for a jihad training camp, but I guess that this is exactly where you find them. In Syria's version of Crawley, Saudi Arabia's version of Crawley, our Crawley. Later on, Omar will tell me that he knew from the beginning I was a Jew because he could see it in my eyes. What really offended him, he will say, is that I hadn't the pride to admit it. Of all the evils, this is the worst, after Zionism, homosexuality, fornication, and so on.
Oh my God. Make it easy. On the head.
Oh, and on camera.
Rest. You kill him. To kill him. Maybe kill him. You don't know. Ughzu Bismillah. Start to fight in the name of Allah.
Omar says that all that he is a Muslim. The Quran rules every aspect of his life. How he eats, how he sleeps, how he fights, and how he will die.
But Muslims always fight, with the belief.
Omar once told me the Quran even said which direction he must break wind in. Which direction, I asked. In the direction of the non-believer, Omar replied.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلام غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين